កម្មវិធីកិច្ចសន្ទនាកម្ពុជានិងពិភពលោក
Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Cambodia Global Dialogue. Tonight I have the pleasure to have a lot of friends and people that are very much the expert in what I call media, social media, information technology, that sort of thing. And I think in the age of globalization, of internet, of social media, you know, so many things happening. You don't know what's real, you know what is not real, you know what is fake news or real news. And I think it's important that we as a society would appreciate, you know, the role of the media is very important, but also it's constrained, you know, regulatory constraint, its social purpose, its public purpose. And I have today three people that would share their perspective on the issue relating to social media. We have my brother, Bang Seng, who is the Undersecretary of Ministry of Information, and Lina, right? Nila. Yes, okay. A social media consultant, and of course the most famous Puy Kia, who's the Federation President of the
Club of Cambodian Journalists.
Club of Cambodian Journalists. You have so many titles, but you also are Kyoto News, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, I'm not going to introduce you all. I'm just going to give the floor to each one of you a few minutes. So introduce yourself. Bang Seng.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Bang Seng. I'm the Undersecretary of State at the Ministry of Information. I've been in the media, I mean, in the past for nearly 30 years.
30 years? You don't look that old.
No, I don't look old, but of course I am. Because I start my career in the radio journalism, so I used to be the radio announcer, MC, whatsoever, behind the scene, because nobody see me on the radio in the 80s.
Oh.
So in the print media also,
yes,
for about 10 years there, and after that in TV also, like TV3, I used to be there for quite a few years, and then I was suggested by the incumbent Minister of Information to come and start my career
Public service.
Back to
That's
public
important.
service. Okay, this is just what I've been doing in my lifetime. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
You still have many more years to go.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
of course. Yeah,
be
of course.
optimistic. Okay.
You have to.
Paul?
Thank you. My name is Kai Kunila. I'm a media consultant. So I have private companies as well as non-profit organizations run their social media campaigns. And academically, I graduated in public policy from Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy in Singapore. Many years before, I worked as a reporter here in Cambodia, covering news and politics and social affairs in Cambodia. Thank you.
Okay.
Here?
For me, I'm the career journalist for more than 20 years in Cambodia. I'm a correspondent of Kyoto News, of course based in Cambodia. In addition to that, I'm also a Secretary General of Club of Cambodian Journalists.
Since when?
At Club of Cambodian Journalists, just last year, from last year. Of course, I was a board member for many years, and in addition to that, I also help train many local Cambodian journalists on many occasions and opportunities. And I do help as a guest speakers and sometimes like doing consultant for local media, and basically for training.
Okay.
And for Kyoto News in particular, I do cover everything from Cambodian and also in the region, particularly on the ASEAN related issues. So I do go around among the 10 ASEAN member states. Yeah.
Good. So I think you're quite broad, because every ASEAN meeting that I attend, you there. But anyway, let me start first at the macro level, right? The macro level, pretty much a snapshot on what is the media industry, right? I mean, let's face it, it's a lot, right? So just yourself, you mentioned you've been in print media, you've been in television, in radio, now you're in with the government. Perhaps, I'm saying, can you give us a bit of picture, you know, how big the media industry is? How many, I don't know, I mean, how many TV, how many, or whatever.
Okay.
There's so many.
Yeah, actually, as after the election in 1993, Cambodia has been open to the world again, back to the world, the window for the world and democracy in coming country, and then the government, I mean everyone enjoy full right, I mean the right to expression or whatsoever. So so far I can tell you that about around 2,000 media-related company register in the Ministry of Information.
Wow.
But it's all about print media,
yes,
online, television, cable TV, radio, and I'll be talking about the print media.
Yes.
It's about around 400, you know.
Okay.
But
print media like newspaper.
Okay.
yeah,
Magazine,
print,
okay.
around, I can say 400.
Yes.
A population of around 16. So you have about 400 print media.
16 million.
16 million people.
Yeah.
Cambodian people.
Yeah.
And then we have television about 17 or more. I mean they have relay station whatsoever.
Yes.
And in addition to the cable TV. Cable
So
TV
separate,
everywhere.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So to me, and not only Cambodian people, but foreigner can
Yes.
come and do their media business in Cambodia. This is what I can tell you about.
Yes. Good. Let's turn to social media. How as a prolific are the social media in Cambodia?
Thank you. So social media is really powerful and fluid in its capacity or ability to capture community sentiment and shape the conversations we have with each other these days. In Cambodia, I noticed that the take of Facebook and some other social media channels started way back in 2009 and 2010, when a lot of people, especially young Cambodians, took to the internet to express their opinions about political issues and social issues. And nowadays we have about 3.4 million active accounts on Facebook, just on Facebook, let alone other social media applications like Line chat app or WhatsApp or Telegram. I don't have statistics about the number of users on those chat apps, but Facebook, yes, 3.4 active accounts on Facebook. So, but it keeps increasing every year actually. So it's a good sign because we see more and more sharing of information on social media. Of course, with that comes also ambiguity as to what constitutes ethical behavior in social media. On Facebook, there is something called Facebook community guidelines or standards, which encourage users to stick to ethical behavior.
Okay.
No racism, no racist words, no posting of pornography, no advertising of tobacco or cigarettes or alcohol. But currently there have been discussions about creating code of conduct for social media users, and usually they are led by the initiatives, or they're initiated by a group of journalists, because they believe that if you want people to behave ethically, we're the ones to lead by example.
But what you're talking about, it's a national level or is it a global level?
It's a global phenomenon also, yes. Not just, not just particular in Cambodia, but also other countries in ASEAN or outside ASEAN.
If I can add a bit to that. First, about the print and electronic media. In Cambodia, the separation between the two, and right now the electronic is more outstanding and more popular. especially on the website, social network, again, Facebook. And in terms of the SIM card subscribers, there's a report saying that more than 20 million SIM card subscribers.
Yeah.
More than 20 million out of roughly 16 million population. But for the smartphone alone, roughly 5 million.
Wow.
So let's say it's about 5 million users with the Facebook, and particular record with the Facebook user almost 5 million.
Okay.
But mostly we have to take into account that those users mainly in the populated areas, like in Phnom Penh, in provincial capitals. But the problem right now, the point is about the ethics, the code of conduct, and that's why very recently, last month, that the Club of Cambodian Journalists conducted a kind of editors forum, and we try to shape some regulations so that the professional journalists, but of course we target all journalists in Cambodia, that we have to take a good example as a model for the public users, that they should follow through some ethics rather than just post everything they want.
Well, before we get to that ethic issue, how many foreign, I would say, journalists or foreign media, because you're with Kyoto, right?
Right.
And then who else? Who else are the prominent one?
Okay, in addition, Kyoto News is the news agency from Japan.
Yes.
And of course we do have AFP from France.
Yes.
Reuters from UK.
Yes.
AP from US.
Yes.
Then we have DPA, we have VNA from Vietnam, we have Xinhua from China, also several others.
And they're all based here?
Yeah, they are all based here. Yeah.
Okay.
So quite a large foreign community working in Cambodia.
Okay.
And of course they do report back to their own particular countries with their native languages.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Of course, like Kyoto News, there are two versions. One is in Japanese, one in English.
Okay.
For myself, I do report in English, but also the translation into Japanese.
You know, I just want to take this opportunity to talk about the news agency.
Yes.
We have Ministry of Information. We have one general department run as news agency, AKP.
Yeah.
In French, AKP. So for AKP, we have signed, or we have a lot of MOU and agreement with foreign news agency like VNA, like Xinhua, TASS, Russia, like Russia Today. We all have with Thailand, with Malaysia, with other country in Asia. So we can boast that the government has a news agency running this. If not very popular yet, but of course we have that.
Yeah. Okay, that's very good. No, what I'm saying, now that we have a clear picture of the media industry, it's important to understand the regulatory framework, right? The legislative framework, before we get into ethics, because ethics is more at the micro level. Right? We have to start at the macro level. We have a law on the press, right? Which is way back.
1994.
94, a long time.
95.
95, yes, a long time ago. And lately, this from the news, a lot of discussion about the access of information. What are the difference? The press law, and then why the need to have this new law?
Actually, the press law, it is all about telling what to do for journalists, professional journalists. Okay, access to information law, it is being drafted for now. It's for all. I mean, everyone, every citizen will benefit from this. I mean, so this access to information is, for all Cambodian people and other people working in Cambodia. So this is the difference between press law and the access to information.
So in the press law, that's where you regulate the industry, right? I mean, getting a license, the requirement to get a license, how many license a person can get, that sort of thing, right? And how difficult it is to start a media company in Cambodia?
For Cambodian, I mean, local people
Yeah.
can apply for that. So there is a few points of regulation that
Okay.
for the applicant to comply with.
Okay.
For example, you have to be 18 years old,
Yes.
to year of age, and education is not required.
Okay.
If you can read and write whatsoever,
Yes.
you can own a media, for example,
okay.
and then you can apply for it.
Okay.
Because there is no specific requirement for that.
Okay.
For foreign people, I mean foreigner who do business in Cambodia, if they want to run a news media like newspaper, for example, then they should have their business registered at least with the Ministry of Commerce.
Okay.
And then if their statute of business saying that they wish to do media business, something like that, and then to show this to the Ministry of Information, and then they can process the application.
Good. I think it's time to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll go more to the development of social media and perhaps also how it relates to education. Okay. Nila, give us a bit how you see the. You mentioned a bit already the development of social media, but share with us a bit how you see the challenge of a country that are as open as Cambodia. Let's face it, Cambodia is so open. You mentioned, I tell you, you and I would travel a lot around the world, right? I mean, not every country as open as Cambodia, right? But with openness, it comes opportunity. You can do a lot of things. But it's also challenging, particularly for the regulator, because not everybody is ethical. Not every news is real news, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, social media is, like I said before, fluid. It evolves really fast as well in this fast-pacing world. In Cambodia, for example, there are a lot of challenges. I mentioned the ethical behavior of users, and also some legal repercussions that we have seen happen in the past few years in Cambodia. So social media itself is believed to be self-regulated because social media, which include Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Line Chat app, and all those are companies. And companies try their best, for example, Facebook, to work with different communities to create the best, say, for example, ethical standards for its users. So in Cambodia, for example, our regulatory framework doesn't include yet social media, and I think Bukam Singh can add a little bit more about that. But I believe that currently we have a relatively free internet freedom and use. I say internet loosely because nowadays Facebook and internet are synonymous, because a lot of young people living outside Phnom Penh believe that Facebook is the internet and the internet is Facebook, and I hope that will soon change after some time. So one of the challenges is
in certain countries they cannot say that, because the fact that you have internet doesn't mean you have Facebook. So anyway, just teasing.
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
example, in China.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but
they have a Chinese version of Facebook. That's for some other reasons. But so the ethical standard, and also you mentioned earlier fake news, and currently some American news on fire because they publish fake news on Facebook, for example, and this also has been taken by Facebook for further examination, like why it happened, and also there are issues like fake likes and fake users. But the challenges, I want to talk about the challenges of users in Cambodia are currently their difficulty to differentiate between opinions and facts and like reliable and unreliable news. So as always, I request all the users to actually look at the sources of information before they like or share, and it's important to know that everything on social media is not the truth.
Yes.
So they have to think twice before they take it as truth.
Yes. All right.
I just want to add
what
you talk about the social media do not have any regulation or law on it yet. But I think I just want to point out that everything is protected by law of Cambodia in the kingdom. I mean, everything is under press law and especially criminal code.
Yes.
So if you are using the social media whatsoever on the internet, but if you do something wrong or whatsoever, it will be judged by this existing law of the kingdom.
Yes, that's it. I think of course you have the criminal code, which is very encompassing, right? Relating to all sort of infringement, and you also have on the commercial side also infringement of intellectual property also.
Of course,
So these are action that private citizens who are affected by this so-called sometimes it's defamation, right? I mean, it's a lot of defamation. So I would say, the law, the regulation are everywhere. It's just not under one piece, right?
Of course.
But you got a good lawyer, you can find anything. Anyway, I'm not saying that because I'm a lawyer, but good.
But
go ahead. Your point of view.
About the challenges. And the knowledge, the education of the users. If they have good knowledge, if they know about the ethics, if they are professional, that is good. Especially about the privacy.
Yes.
Lots of problem. They violate the privacy of individual.
Yes.
Try to post everything, anything that they see, and they just like and share. That's quite critical here in Cambodia today. And also the media in particular, even the online media, they continue to report with the abusive, like pictures, footages, those who are in being the victims of particular case, and then try to publicize from one to another, like and share. And that's why from media perspective, the professional one, we try to regulate ourselves. Please be more careful, and we have to play a kind of model role to the society, and we believe it will work somehow. And that's why we have
that requires a lot of effort from the federation to sort of like mentor their member.
But for sure, there are the controversy between the moral and also the benefit.
Yes. Okay.
When one person or one company take it seriously, is about the income, about the benefit. Probably they don't care much about that ethics. But those that they learn a lot about the moral, about the professionalism of the media, then of course they have to adhere to that. And now is on that situation. But we believe that day by day, week by week, month by month.
But in any society, right? Morally guided ethics work to a certain extent. After that, there have to be state sanctioned.
Exactly.
Because media has touched a lot the life of people, right? And it become it's a public good, right? That can be used for public bad, right? If I can use that. So I think I believe that the role of the state is quite important to ensure that, let's say, as an individual, we got hacked, for example, right? Information, not good information, it could destroy people's life. Somebody say, well, you are a pedophile, for example, right? I mean, can you imagine that? And no proof, but someone posts a picture, you could lose your job.
Exactly.
And once you're on that internet, people Google you, right? Nowadays, we Google other people, to check their record. And say, even there's no proof, the perception, this guy could be, it destroyed people's life. How how do people protect themselves? And that's why I think I believe the role of the states is quite important.
Of course, I just want to add to that one. You say the state sanction for that. Like in the press law, we have Article 7 provide the room for journalists, professional journalists to regulate themselves. I mean, we call it
self-regulate, self-censorship.
Of course. That's why the Club of Journalists and other journalists come together every year. We call the annual meeting, editor forum. Then come and talk about self-censorship, what we should do and what we should avoid, something like that. This is the room that provided by the law, the press law for the journalists, before it come under the state sanction.
But the challenge is more on social media, because you have 1 million people who can write anything they want, versus so many few journalists who have a career to lose, right? I mean, you would think twice about writing something that is not true, because they know it's you. Kyoto is a reputable agency. But if I'm just a simple citizen sitting behind my computer, I don't like you. But how do we go about that? What do you think?
I think we should also look at the collective efforts of the country to help I'm not saying educate, but to inform the citizens about what is considered as good ethical behavior in social media, or even in public space, for example. So it might have to take a lot of time, because as I noticed, we've just started using social media pretty recently. So people are learning. So it's a long learning curve for Cambodians. But I'm not assuming that people are not smart to know what is bad, what is good. But I'm just saying in general that yes, there are some mistakes they've made, but at the same time, as time goes by, people will learn, of course, through some, educational programs on the mainstream media and on some Facebook pages or other social media pages. Hopefully, users will learn to be, more, say, aware on about how they use their channels. But what concerns me is the latest court case against this Facebook user who made a comment about color revolution in Cambodia. So a lot of analysts believe that it can, well, in one way, we use law to protect the national interests of the country, but at the same time it can stifle the free speech among ordinary citizens, as well as among say other analysts who want to express certain opinions about the country. So there's still this area where we can't really go, but we really want to know how much freedom I can take from social media and how much I should keep away.
Well, I think this is a very sensitive point, because let's face it, for a country that went through war, genocide and everything, we know what war is, and people who don't know war should not mess around. Or even for me anyway, for a person that went through, you two went through you were born later, so you have no clue what it is about war, okay? But peace is very important. Stability of the country is very important. The growth of our economy, the prosperity of this country, ride on one thing: political stability, right? And I think, yes, there are freedom of speech. I'm all for it. But sometimes the person should use its own judgment to say, whatever I say, because whatever you say have consequence, right? Because with the social media, one person say something could lead to so many other things that could catalyze to something that is not good for the country. So I think we should not use wholesomely this notion of freedom of speech to say whatever we want to say, because there's accountability behind it, right? So to me, I think that this is where self-censorship kicks in. Of course, it's difficult to define what is self-censorship, because there's so many sensitive subjects to be affected. But I think that since that relate to national security, to national stability, we should be very careful. We should be mindful. Yeah, I mean, it's okay to speak in a coffee shop with your 3 friends, but it's one thing when you use a million media thing to say, because all you need is a few people who believe, maybe it's like you said, sometimes we don't know what is opinion, what is fact, what is true. See?
Yeah. To me, again, the censorship is very important, but again, unless we need someone or any institution to take lead on that, For example, the Club of Cambodian Journalists, we are doing on the right track. Of course, more efforts needs to be done, but we are moving on that direction. And I believe the only continued debates and publication on that issue will help the society. And in addition to that, with the court cases will help. Court cases is like alarming clock to everyone. Okay, if you don't take it seriously, then you will be in trouble. If you try to, express whatever you want by not taking into consideration of others' rights, then you will be in trouble. So the reason 2 or 3 court cases will help the overall public users to be alerted on that. So of course I don't support the court cases.
Yeah, but okay, it's a good time to take a short break, because Kambawa will expand a bit on this issue. Okay. Well, here you touch a bit on the court case. I think one have to think that I'm not talking about media or whatever. I'm talking as a whole. Law is law, right? Law apply for the whole country, right? It could be traffic accident, or it could be a divorce case, it could be intellectual property infringement, it could be defamation. It doesn't matter, right? The law doesn't say this one apply only for a political case or no. And that's why people have to be mindful that whatever you say have consequence. You just don't know how far the consequence is. So if I steal your property, there is consequence, because the criminal law say that you steal, you're subject to sanction. If I defame you, that same law would say you have consequence. So that's why, like you say, people must be mindful that whatever the person do or say have consequence. There's a right and obligation. In law, is always right and obligation. Your right is your right, but you have an obligation to make sure that your right do not infringe on my right. I can swing my hand, but my hand better stop here, because if I hit you, see, I'm in trouble. So basically, that's how I view on this. Well, I'm speaking as a lawyer now.
Okay. In terms of freedom of speech in Cambodia, it's amazing. I mean, comparing among the 10 ASEAN member states, we are the best. Frankly speaking, we are the best. In terms of, we can write whatever we want. The Ministry of Information is very, very gentle with other.
Very accommodating.
Yeah, very accommodating. Even the minister himself tried to help journalists on many cases, try to intervene to help. And we have to acknowledge, we have to realize that many, or we can say a handful of reporters, especially in provincial areas, they do some distortion, the blackmail, so on and so forth, and that's a severe case that sometimes they try to put a pan on the general picture of Cambodian media, but not all Cambodian media like that, only a few, a handful. But anyway, we enjoy very much. And for my case in particular, more than 20 years in the career, I have never been any trouble with the authority. Then that because I practice my profession, I practice the code of ethics, code of conduct, and that's the best way to prevent myself into that trouble. So that I want to see other media try to pursue the ethics and professionalism. That will be a strong shield to have.
I would say this, right? Cambodia, being such an open society, have brought us a lot of benefit because information, because knowledge. I can tell you mentioned about ASEAN. Beyond ASEAN, we go to so many different meetings. I remember 20 years ago when I was working for the UN, we don't have access to information, even official, whatever. We just don't have, and we are so at the disadvantage versus our neighbor. Right? Because Singapore have more information. You go to a meeting, they know more than you. They make argument, they know more than you. Now, because of this openness, the fact that everybody can check, the Google, WikiLeaks, I don't know what it is, right? Information is there. Or sometimes you have access to information, it makes you more knowledgeable. Even as a negotiator, when we negotiate the WTO, for example, and now when we go to many different summits, we negotiate documentation, right? Oh, one country delegate say, Article 23 of UN's resolution say this. You check. Excuse me, sir. Article 17 say this, but Article 33 say this. But 10 years ago, you don't have that. And we as a small country, we are at a loss. And that's why media, social media, information technology is so powerful to get Cambodia to be equal partner to our neighbor. Now I can tell you, when we go to all these meetings, we feel good about it. Because you have as much information as I do. I have my iPad, you have your computer, I have my iPhone, you have your iPhone. Hey, information is at your disposal. So I really want to encourage that we as social media user or promoter turn this tool into a positive, powerful tool to build the awareness, to build the knowledge of our society.
Yeah, of course. But before that, I'd like to respond to, one point mentioned by Pupuki over the free media. I don't really think that Cambodia is the freest media, but I believe we have a certain amount of freedom to express our opinions in the media and in social media. That's what I really appreciate in Cambodia. I also travel a lot to ASEAN and to Europe and other parts of the world, and I somehow feel proud of the kind of enabling environment that we currently have, and I hope that we continue to maintain it and not ruin it in the future. So if you look at ASEAN as a whole, well, I'm now putting my head as a reporter because I was a reporter for 6-7 years, so I can tell Indonesia and the Philippines actually have freer media than Cambodia. And don't get me wrong, I think we also have somehow, or somewhat free media as well, and we have other challenges to take on in the future. And as for social media, I believe that there are pros and cons, and we can make more positive outcomes from social media when we have educated a crowd of users. And like I said before, it's going to take collective effort to make that happen, and you're going to give time to users to learn and relearn all these things, so that they understand what is ethical, what should be said, what shouldn't be said, but at the same time it should not happen at the expense of their own free speech or like freedom of speech. But I agree with you, if you attack or insult other people are going to take issue with you. Sure. And this, I believe, is our law, and we should respect that. Yeah.
Actually, I just want to add to this one. When people get insulted or attacked on social media, I have noticed that young people or innocent people are trained by professionals to pretend to be know nothing about a code of ethics whatsoever. For example, they want to win a political battle, and then they train 100 people. You just go and hit that guy. Whatsoever you want to talk, whatever you want to paint him as what. This is the organized organized unethical, you know, the organized one, because they train the people to go unethical, but the trainer are very professional. That's why I think as you as a media consultant, and especially you know a lot about social media problem and issue, and we should do something to alert people using this social media about that, because we still have this group of people to pretend to be know nothing about ethics, but of course you know.
The point is, right now we do call them like citizen journalists, those who use like social media and try to disseminate the information from one to the other, or other term they even call netizen.
Netizen.
Yeah, citizen journalist or netizen. So anyone can be netizen. Anyone. For my side, as a career journalist, I still give very high value to journalists, because we know how to write, we know how to report accurately. Of course, we can do like fake news, fake reports, or whatever, but as a career journalist, we cannot do that. We have.
That's why the Ministry of Information need the professional journalists, the journalists by profession, to help this. When you see any post fake news or propaganda whatsoever, and then this will be explained by the professional media, like Sip TV whatsoever. So I think professional journalists should participate in this process. Otherwise, it will go without border. I mean, well, people start to live.
Unfortunately, the world have changed. It's clear the world of 20 years ago, it's very different than the world nowadays, mainly because of the revolution of information technology, right? So this is something that nobody in the world can stop. Information technology will continue to progress, right? And many people have made money, many people have lose money, many people have thrived, many people have lose their job, all because of evolution of technology. So traditional journalism is a proud profession. But now you didn't even know what happened, and suddenly you have 5 million netizens who have no clue what journalism is about. They happen to know how to read and write, whatever, and bump into a story and they write. They don't claim to be journalists, but the technology enabled them, and these are something that no one can stop. And to me, what we can do as a professional journalist is, media consultant, is to help them, to inform them, to let them know that this ethics is important. Because ultimately, how do you tell 5 million users to do something? No, you just say, look, please use your judgment. I mean, that's all we can do, I guess. But again, like those who, like you say, if they're professional thing, they're subject, to certain regulation. I mean, like you say, action bring reaction.
Yeah, of course. I have an idea. One opinion about citizen journalism and professional journalist. Or professional journalism. So I was trained to be a professional journalist as well, and I also noticed the importance of having citizen journalists, to come along and do their job. And I believe that professional journalists and citizen journalists can work together as synergy, for the benefits of the public. Why did I say that? So over the past 5-6 years, we've noticed that a lot of content that comes on social media actually came from citizen journalists. For example, there are some issues that the mainstream media, especially television, dare not go there, like for example, land grabbing or whatsoever. These issues are pretty media sensitive, but these citizen journalists, go out there and take, snapshots or snippets, short videos of what happened and post them on social media. So a lot of people, they might agree with me that this is a very important part. But like you said as well, I acknowledge that it's a challenge that they do not have proper training as professional journalists, but they have that good intention, which can be turned into positive energy.
And this is bring to this equilibrium that netizen generally bring certain fact.
Or
Okay, let me say that they bring certain information, but what you just said, again, I'm speaking as a lawyer. The fact that there's a picture of certain action, it does not mean that it is what it is, you know, because there's so many other factors behind. It could be somebody could, you know, you have professional land grabber also. Let's be real about that. These are the sort of things that a snapshot will not capture. And that's why it's so important for professional journalism, because you could have 50 information from netizen, but the hardest part is for professional journalists to reconcile, to double check the source. You know, people write to me, call me all the time, say, "Oh brother, can you contribute an article?" Right? "Oh, it's only 500 words, only 1,000 words." They say it's so easy, but you know, to get all this data, to analyze, to verify, to check the source, it's 2 weeks. They say, "Oh, but you don't want to be helping me." I say, I wish I have 2 weeks. But these are the challenge. These are challenge. Anyway, we're coming in the end of the program, but I just want to say the topic is very interesting. And thank you, Wang Seng, for sharing your regulatory perspective. You know, yourself as a media consultant, I can see the passion about it. You know, it's good. You know, you're young. You're going to play a good role as that bridge, right? And Kia as a professional journalist. I mean, you have to continue playing that mentorship role, right? That lukru, that teacher role for the younger generation. Yeah. All right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.